Welcome to the Paint, Rest, Repeat podcast with Ros and
Laura Day, where we chat about our creative lives as artists while keeping it real and a little bit messy.
We're here to inspire creatives just like you to push past those boundaries and make art that you love. Let's dive in.
Oh, hello. Welcome to episode 87, Paint, Rest, Repeat. We are going to be talking about the starving artist myth today because this is a major block for many artists. How are you, Laura?
I'm good. Yourself, Ros?
I'm all right. Still sounding husky. You might have worked out that we've recorded 2 episodes in a row here. So
I think they can tell from our outfits. If you're watching on YouTube, Mike just went crazy.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Oh, it just fell over.
Decided to do a little dance on your desktop.
Yes.
Your mic. Very good. So starving myth. This is a ginormous one. If our listeners haven't heard of it, do you want to do a little mini rundown?
Oh, well, I guess, it's just sort of like a cultural myth that has gone through the ages, and it is all around the belief that artists can't make money from their art and they're starving.
That's right.
I don't feel starving. Do you feel starving, Ros?
I'm not hungry right now. It's funny, isn't it? So I think it came from Van Gogh, or artists like Van Gogh many moons ago, because he was starving. But a lot of artists back then, they also had a lot of mental health issues and also a refusal to actually show up and sell their work. Do you know the story? Sorry, I know this is meant to be a short episode, but do you know the Van Gogh story? No,
well, so dive in.
He's the starving artist, really. And he used to make his art. Oh, no, actually, sorry. I'm just trying to start the story at the start. That would be a good idea. When he was younger, he studied art or learned how to paint, whatever it was, way back when. And straight from college or whenever he was learning back then, he was taken in by like an art benefactor.
Yeah.
What's it called again?
Yeah, like a benefactor.
Yeah, like an art benefactor.
So someone that's sponsored him.
Yeah, and they wanted to have him, on their books and to get his art in front of people and to sell his art and all of that. So he was taken in. But the second he got an offer from somebody to buy his art, he basically said no. And he would go to these exhibitions and these events with his work there, and he would behave badly. He would be rude to the potential buyers. And that's what happened with him. And then he decided to move away and be a recluse and da. So I don't know why he's pinned up as the, great example of an artist, because he basically shot himself in the foot. Oh my gosh, that's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? Considering his ear, Bizzo. But anyway.
So this myth this myth has carried through the ages. And I never had any mentors or successful artists. I didn't know any artists or professional people that took making art, painting as a career growing up in school, no one in my networks. And it wasn't until I got into adulthood and started my art career that I started to find people that were taking art as a serious profession, but I was warned against it.
That was my next question.
It's not
lined up in my mind, Laura.
Yeah, it's too competitive. Yeah. You're not going to make money. I remember being hauled up at a wedding one day, and this woman was reflecting back to me saying, "Oh, that's a hard career path," or something along those lines. So it is this thing within the zeitgeist that people find it hard to make money. So that's why this starving artist myth has stuck around for so long. But we're here to talk about it today and maybe give you some self-reflection questions around the whole big money topic. And I think we were should we do this episode as a 10-minute mini? Or like, should we leave it for another one? So you let us know if we're leaving you with more questions or you feel like you'd like us to expand on this topic a bit more. Definitely send us a message and let us know. But did you want to dive in and sort of touch on those reflection topics and questions that we have for our listeners, Ros?
Yeah, definitely. So we're actually sort of going to cut to the chase with this one in particular because, I think artists often talk about other people holding these starving artist myths, but actually, I think a lot of us deep down, we have it in our heart as well because we've been told this since the very beginning of time ourselves on repeat, basically. So I think the first question here is to look quite deeply, don't rush answering this question and think about whether you hold that starving artist myth to be true yourself. Somewhere deep inside, do you think that artists cannot make a living out of their art? And I think, yeah, that's really worth looking at. So you can journal that, talk it through with a friend, whatever works for you to really reflect on that one. And then relating to that, the next sort of follow-up question on that one is what actually needs to be true, according to you, in order to be paid enough for your art? Yeah, lots of questions.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we were worried we might be opening up like a can of worms, but these are good questions. This is work that has to be done. So, we're here making you do the things that you got to do.
Yeah. So another one that we've got for you is, do you actually believe in your art? Do you believe that it's valuable? And are you worthy of being paid for your art? Do you think that your art is worthy enough for people to hand over cash?
Oh.
Because we know that lots of artists do really struggle with that and they can't put a price on their work or they hide away in the shadows and they don't even show their art to other people. It's sort of like this secret thing. But yeah, do you believe in your art? Do you think it's valuable? Are you worthy of being paid? And this is not to like criticize you or anything, or it is just sort of just those internal reactions, like just witnessing what it is, because it's not a bad thing, even if you're in that space of believing, oh, my art's not good enough, or oh, like, it's not worth much money, or I don't want people to pay me for my art, or those sorts of things. It's not a bad thing, but if you do have that big dream and you aspire to like step into it as a like time career or like, as your professional career, these are some things that you might need to work on, and it might be good to witness like maybe where you're repelling people in a way.
And the natural follow through for a question like that is why. So if you don't think that your art has much value, why is that? Is it because you're self-taught? Is it because you haven't been selling your art for a while? Is it because of whatever? And then try to almost rebut that for yourself. Come back with no, but there are plenty of self-taught artists out there making a living from their art. Or what was my other line before? When I say self-taught, or haven't been making art for a while. So the other one is no, but every artist has to start somewhere,
Yeah.
So rebut yourself, back yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then the third line of questioning here is, do you believe in yourself as an artist? So this is more a personal thing. So do you believe that you have what it takes to be an artist? And so we're talking about things like the business side of being an artist, the technology around having a website and processing orders, even the marketing, sales, accounting side, bookkeeping, and even the productivity side. Because, if you do get your art out there and a gallery picks you up, are you going to be able to meet the productivity demands? Is that something that is making you a little bit nervous? So that's a good question to look at.
Yeah.
Do you believe in yourself? Like, can you handle this?
Yeah. Because I know that there's all of these like stories that, and I've experienced it myself, holding myself back. I'm not organized enough. I'm not good at money. I'm not good at marketing myself. I'm not confident enough online and showing my face in it. I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
I'm a tech. I'm no good at tech, and like I'm a digital dinosaur. Like all those things. It's like, well, what are ways that you can improve upon that? Do you need to hire someone, a consultant to help you? Is there something you need to learn? Like there are ways that you can rebut those beliefs. Like if you just continually tell yourself those limiting beliefs, then you're just going to be in that and you're going to stunt your progress.
It's almost like a battle between your dreams and your aspirations
Yeah.
and these negative, these limiting beliefs.
Yeah,
Which one's stronger? You know, if your dreams are just a little bit stronger than your limiting beliefs, then off you go, buddy. Let's make it happen, you know?
Yeah. And so the word money, Ros.
Oh. Can I start this with a story?
Go for it.
So one of my kids had a friend over the other day and they were playing Lego. And I overheard her saying to her friend, this was one of my daughters, she said, hey, so can we pretend that we're really rich, but we're not bad people? I thought that was so interesting. And I'm also sitting here going, what have I done as a parent? But my kiddo from that age, who's 8 years old at the moment, is getting this message that people who are rich, which means people who have money, people who are wealthy, are bad people. And if they're not bad people, that needs to be, stated. So I'm like, oh boy. So the question here really for us to be reflecting on is, what does that word money trigger for you? Is that a bad word in your books? And this idea of making money out of your art or out of your passion or out of something that you love doing, does that make you feel uncomfortable? And then looking into that, and why does it make you feel uncomfortable? Where does that come from? Because it is a little bit of a red flag. It's a potential red flag, because if you have these negative beliefs around money, unhelpful money mindset, it's going to make it really hard to sell your work for a price that's actually going to make your art business viable. So we've got a few more tips for you today as well. But has that been have you noticed this as well in your work, Laura?
That belief was that run through my family as well. Like rich people are bad, or they're greedy, or they're snobby, or those sorts of things. Like it was it was sort of like that small tall poppy syndrome. It's like, oh, those rich people think that they're so good. And then it's just like bringing them down because we came from working class. So that was definitely around. So that would be very common for a lot of people in their childhood growing up, I believe. But I do have a question in regards to that, because if you were affluent and if you had money and if you were successful as a creator in making money, if that was in the hands of kind-hearted, creative people, would that feel quite powerful? And what good could you do with that as well? Like, imagine like our collective of creative people that we've got in our community. Imagine the good that would happen in the world from all of these beautiful, creative, kind-hearted people. If you can challenge that belief, and if you could, sort of build in that that willingness to receive and feel like you are worthy of receiving for your creative talents, that could be like a really incredible, life-changing thing.
I would much prefer my money to go to beautiful artists than certain other people in this world. Take my money, artists, and do something amazing with it. Just make art for it. Like, use that money to make your art. That would make me happy, let alone anything else you could do with your money, charity and helping people as well. But 100%, it's a really big one. So related to that, we're going to flow into actionable tips now. But related to that is one that both of us actually wanted to mention, which is a book recommendation. And Laura, you put me onto this years ago, this one in particular. It's Jen Sincero. What's the title of the book again?
You Are a Badass at Making Money. It's actually quite funny. It's a really good read. Definitely go out and check out that book. I think that's a good one on money mindset and overcoming the starving artist myth.
It's really good, and it'll go back and help you with that whole money mindset. It's really, really, like, honestly, if you read any book this month, make it that one.
So
the recommended book is tip number one.
Great.
2, final tips as well before we wrap up. So second tip is to find some real people, real people, not online people. Is that what we mean, Laura?
I don't know. I think case studies. Yeah,
Case
I
studies,
think,
okay.
yeah, I'd say finding people that are actually making money from their art and having them as your mentors, like having them as living proof that people can make a successful career. They can make a living from their art. They can support their families, or they can do good in their career. And, you know, it could be real people in your life. So like, you know, actual friends that are, and, you know, more artist friends, the better, I think. But then also, yeah, I think it's just creating those testimonies because, yeah, like for me, like that wasn't around. Like it wasn't even like I did not know one professional artist growing up. And so the more people that are doing what you want to do and are living testimonials of what you want to do, then that's the better. And then that will help you build that belief muscle.
Love that one. And then the last one is around money mindset affirmations. So my hot tip on this one is to come up with an affirmation for yourself around money and then pop that into your phone or your laptop or whatever it is as a password. So that every time you unlock your device, you actually have to type in that affirmation. It's a really good trick. And actually, I learned it from, I'm having a moment. What's our money mindset person that we're trying to get on, everybody? By the way, send them a message. Denise Duffield Thomas. We're trying to get to the podcast. But yeah, this is a tip I learned from her years ago as well. So
Yeah.
what sort of affirmation would you have, do you think?
Oh,
Helpful
I
one.
am worthy of making money from my creative talents.
Oh, that's very long for a
Or
password.
I get
But
paid well. I get paid well for my creative talents.
yeah, or I'm
Um,
paid well, maybe like as a
yeah.
password. We got to like make
Mhm.
sure.
Oh, passwords. I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about affirmations.
Oh, yeah, combination
Yeah.
question. We want two in one here.
I also have one of my bank accounts called Daily Abundance.
Mhm.
So that's sort of, you know, in that, you know, aspirational mindset sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just about sort of any areas that you feel uneasy about. It's about finding solutions for yourself.
Hmm.
So yeah, like there was a story that I had running for many, many years, and that held me in the starving artist mentality. And it was, I'm not good at managing money. Yeah, so I was actively working on that. I'm like, well, that story is not relevant for the dreams that I have. So, you know, I sort of shifted things up 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm like, well, I can't live in this belief anymore. Like I'm ready to move past it. So I got a professional accounting system. I started sending professional invoices. I was acting like a person that, like, you know, was the aspiration of what I wanted, like a successful creative business owner. I hired an accountant. I stopped, like, you know, putting things together and just doing a hack job and doing it myself. Like I stepped it up a level, and I started reconciling all of my accounts, and I started looking at my invoices and outgoings and saying thank you, like thank you for your services, like thank you to the bills as well. And then I hired a consultant because like I wanted to learn more. So yeah, it's just about that piece of like what is it that I'm believing, and is it holding me back? And how can I challenge those beliefs? And what do I need? Like what support do I need in order to start living as that person that I want to be?
Yeah, I love that idea of, just being your future self, like
Hmm.
deciding that
Yeah.
you're going to operate
Hmm.
in the way of your future self, even if it's uncomfortable at first.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that actually should always be the case because we should always be growing and moving
Yeah.
forward. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
There's
that.
always learning curves. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Shall we read a review
Yes,
now,
please. Yep.
or shall we tell everyone about your retreat waitlist?
Oh, yeah. Well, we're pre-recording this, aren't we?
We
So
are.
we've had a fantastic time at the retreat. I'm so
It
excited.
was amazing. I had a great
Yeah.
time too. Thanks, Laura.
I was so glad that you were there. It was amazing. So, yes, if you can tell the sarcasm and joking here.
She means it. You're
No,
glad I
I
was
do. I
there,
do.
surely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope.
It was absolutely incredible. So, if you'd like to come for 2026, jump on the wait list. So, you are going to be the first to know when I release the information and dates and when the tickets will be for sale. So, jump onto the list and we'll put the list, the retreat wait list in the show notes.
Where's it going to be? Do you know yet?
Hoi An, it'll be the same. Yeah, so it'll be
Oh.
the same town. We'll do different activities. So there will be different things happening. So obviously, like, you know, the retreat guests that came to this one, if they want to do a repeat experience, it will look a bit different. And I'm fingers crossed, I'm going to do a research trip to Cambodia. So that's another one that's on the cards. And so I've just got this vision of people sitting at the temple at sunrise at Angkor Wat and, you know, painting the beautiful sunrise.
Oh, Cambodia is gorgeous. I've been, although I couldn't, I had to walk out of I did one of the tours of one of the camps or something.
Yes.
I had to leave.
Yes,
like,
they do have like quite a tortured past. Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that,
on a more positive note,
oh,
Ros, what do you have going on?
I have an art release. I like that I scratched my head right at that point. I will explain why. I have an art release at the end of March. So March is my birthday month. Actually, technically, yesterday was my birthday. Is that right?
Happy birthday!
I am 42 now. And yeah, so I have an art release coming up at the end of this month. So if you would like to be the first to know about that, make sure you are on my email list, because that's not through a gallery, it's direct through me. So yeah, let me know. So send me a DM perhaps with the word art. I love to give people a word, just art, capital letters. And I will send you the link to join that specific email list that is all about my art releases. Yeah, and I scratch my head because at this point I have not started my artwork.
Alrighty. Shall we catch
action, Laura?
I know. Oh, did we read the review?
Oh no, not yet. Review. This review is by Lee O'Gorman. Lee is she's on Instagram. She is at art_Lee O'Gorman, and she has said, "Loved your Paint Rest Repeat podcast. Literally feel so energized by your honesty and mindset and the risk taking that you both take. Thank you so much. Love, from Lee." So
thanks, Lee. That makes me feel good.
So
all right.
go and give Lee a follow over on socials. And if you have not yet, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating via Spotify. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a written review there along with your Instagram handle so we can give you a shout out like we just did for Lee. So yeah, thanks everyone. See you soon.
Thanks everyone. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.